What is up, 12s? Can you believe we are looking back at the move that completely transformed the future of our franchise? We all remember the shock when that massive trade went down, but looking at it now, it's clear it was a masterstroke that paved the way for our latest championship glory. This isn't just a look back, it's a breakdown of how one decision reshaped Seattle football forever. Before we dive into the details, if you live and breathe Seahawks football, show your support by hitting that subscribe button. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers together to build the ultimate home for our fans. Russell Wilson remains a central figure in the legacy of the Seattle Seahawks, moving from a surprise third-round steal in 2012 to the leader who brought the franchise its first championship. His arrival changed the team trajectory immediately, as he snatched the starting job during his rookie season and guided Seattle to an impressive 11-5 record. The momentum only grew in 2013, with Wilson commanding the squad to a 13-win season and a dominant Super Bowl victory. While the heartbreak of the 2014 title game loss was significant, Wilson remained a consistent force for years. However, the organization eventually reached a crossroads, leading to the massive 2022 trade that sent him to the Denver Broncos. This blockbuster deal included a 2022 fourth-round pick sent to Denver in exchange for an unprecedented return. Seattle walked away with the Broncos' 2022 first, second, and fifth-round picks, along with first and second-round selections in 2023. Additionally, the Seahawks bolstered their active roster by acquiring quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, and defensive tackle Shelby Harris. This deal stands as a monumental moment in NFL history, currently ranked by Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox as the fourth biggest trade to ever occur in the league. While Russell Wilson had already secured 9 Pro Bowl honors by 2021, the front office concluded that the team had stalled since their last deep playoff run in 2014. Seeking a fresh identity, the franchise utilized the assets from this trade to accelerate a full-scale roster rebuild. The results were tangible and immediate, proving that the move was more than just a personnel change. It was a strategic overhaul that provided the necessary depth to eventually build toward the team's most recent championship run in 2026. Go Hawks! The impact of the Russell Wilson trade became clear as the assets acquired by Seattle transformed into foundational pillars for the current roster. The haul from Denver allowed the Seahawks to secure high-impact talent through the draft. Key contributors to the 2026 title run, including outside linebacker Derek Hall, edge rusher Boy Mafe, offensive tackle Charles Cross, and cornerback Devin Witherspoon, all originated from the capital gained in the deal. These players integrated seamlessly into the team, providing the defensive tenacity and offensive protection needed to compete at the highest level. While Boy Mafe eventually moved on, signing with the Cincinnati Bengals this past offseason, his tenure in Seattle was instrumental during his time with the team. Meanwhile, Devin Witherspoon, Derek Hall, and Charles Cross continue to serve as vital pieces of the current core. This influx of young talent proved that the trade was a calculated effort to refresh the roster after years of stagnant playoff results. Looking at the situation, why does this matter right now for the team? It matters because the 2026 success is directly traceable to the depth and versatility gained by moving away from a single high-cost player in favor of multiple high-value draft picks. The presence of Witherspoon, Hall, and Cross on the field today highlights how the organization prioritized long-term sustainability over maintaining the status quo. By distributing the value across multiple positions, the team avoided the limitations of a top-heavy salary structure, which is a common hurdle for many organizations. This depth has been the defining factor in their ability to stay competitive and secure a championship. The strategic use of those picks allowed the coaching staff to cultivate a diverse defensive front and a reliable offensive line, which ultimately set the stage for the team's current success. While the Seahawks found clarity and success following the 2022 transaction, the narrative for Russell Wilson took a very different path in Denver. The expectations surrounding his arrival with the Broncos were never fully realized on the field. Across 2 seasons with Wilson as the primary starter, the team struggled to find consistency, ultimately finishing with a disappointing 11-19 record. This decline in performance raised questions about his fit outside of the system he had operated in for so long in the Pacific Northwest. After his time in Denver, Wilson made stops elsewhere in the league, including one season with the Pittsburgh Steelers, before ultimately signing with the New York Giants in 2026. However, the struggles that characterized his tenure with the Broncos seemed to follow him to New York. The 2026 season began with an 0-3 start for the Giants, a situation that put immense pressure on the veteran quarterback. The organization ultimately decided that a change was necessary to spark their offense, resulting in the decision to bench Wilson. In his place, the team turned to rookie Jackson Dart, signaling a permanent shift in direction for the franchise. This benching served as the final chapter in Wilson's long professional career, as he shortly thereafter announced his official retirement from the NFL. The contrast between his trajectory and the success of the roster in Seattle is stark. While the Seahawks successfully leveraged the trade to build a championship-caliber team that remains strong today, Wilson's career path became increasingly difficult, marked by team changes and eventual retirement. The trade remains a case study in how roster construction and asset management can alter the fortunes of a franchise. The departure of Russell Wilson, while difficult at the time, allowed the organization to pivot toward a more balanced, talent-rich approach that has clearly paid off. The legacy of Russell Wilson in the NFL is now officially closed, but the ripple effects of his 2022 exit from Seattle continue to define the current landscape of the team. By moving on from a player who had reached his peak in terms of Pro Bowl recognition but lacked postseason advancement since 2014, the Seahawks avoided the pitfalls of holding on to a massive contract that might have limited their ability to build a complete squad. The trade return, which included a diverse mix of veteran depth and high-end draft capital, was essential in bridging the gap between their previous era and the 2026 championship victory. As noted by Christopher Knox, the sheer scale of the return package, spanning multiple drafts and including impactful players like Charles Cross and Devin Witherspoon, provided the front office with the flexibility to attack multiple needs simultaneously. This approach has been vindicated by the team's ability to maintain a competitive edge, even after losing contributors like Boy Mafe. The draft picks were not just placeholders. They were converted into starters who have grown within the system. This strategy demonstrates the effectiveness of turning a single asset into a foundation. The departure of Russell Wilson fundamentally changed the team's cap space management and draft strategy, moving away from a reliance on one marquee star and toward a team-first model. Every piece acquired in that trade served a specific function in constructing the championship team seen in 2026. The fact that Witherspoon, Hall, and Cross remain integral to the current roster highlights the durability and long-term value that the organization extracted from the trade. It serves as a testament to the idea that a successful roster is often built through the sum of its parts, rather than the brilliance of a single individual, ensuring that the team remains well-positioned for the future. Reflecting on the timeline of events, the 2022 trade involving Russell Wilson stands as the defining moment that shifted the team's path toward its current success. The transition from a team that had not advanced past the divisional round in nearly a decade to a championship winner in 2026 illustrates the efficiency of the overhaul. The combination of losing Wilson to Denver and gaining a massive influx of draft capital allowed for a total reconstruction of the roster's identity. The decision to prioritize this move reflects a calculated approach to building depth, particularly in the trenches and the secondary. Players like Charles Cross and Devin Witherspoon have become household names because the team had the draft capital to secure them in the early rounds. Even as the rest of the league continues to navigate the complexities of managing veteran stars and salary cap constraints, the success of this strategy remains highly relevant. Russell Wilson's retirement in 2026, following his brief stint with the New York Giants, and the decision to bench him for Jackson Dart, brings a sense of finality to the debate surrounding the 2022 trade. While his career ended after his time with multiple teams, the Seahawks have remained a consistent force in the league. The trade provided the exact assets needed to bridge the gap during a period of transition, ensuring that the departure of their longtime quarterback did not result in a long-term rebuild. Instead, the team used the windfall to maintain a high level of play. The 2026 title is the ultimate proof of the trade's efficacy, validating the difficult choices made in 2022. As the organization moves forward, the impact of those decisions continues to influence the roster composition and the team's ability to remain competitive year after year, securing their place at the top of the NFL.